New normal big life.
Can three simple strategies unlock a healthier you? Dr. Alex Hilario, a celebrated chiropractor from Westchester County, New York, believes so. With over 21 years of experience, he's helped hundreds of thousands live pain free. This former powerlifter who held 13 U.S. Powerlifting Association state records. In this episode, Dr. Hilario shares three keys to better health: chiropractic care, nervous system optimization, and avoiding the pitfalls of medications and poor posture. Let's dive in. Hi, friends. Welcome to the New Normal Big Life podcast. We bring you natural news and stories about nature that we hope will inspire you to get outside and adventure, along with a step-by-step plan that you practice what you've learned and create your own new normal and live the biggest life you can dream. I'm your host, Antoinette Lee, the Wellness Warrior. Let's dive into today's transformational topic with Dr. Alex Hilario. Dr. Hilario, welcome to New Normal Big Life.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let's dive into the three keys to better health with key number one, harnessing the power of chiropractic care. Your awards for top chiropractic services in Westchester, New York, which I used to live in Westchester for a while, highlights the importance of this topic. Why is chiropractic a foundation for health?
It's essential because we have our nervous system, which controls everything. Every organ in your body is controlled by your nervous system, and it's encased in your skull and your spine. So when there's issues going on in the spine, that's going to affect your nervous system, which in turn is going to affect different organs, different aspects of your health.
And you have kind of a unique experience that some clinicians don't have, in that you overcame a huge health challenge and had a kidney transplant. Is there anything you want to share about your journey into health and wellness?
Well, I think everybody, at some point or another is going to face some challenges. And I think it's important to do a little bit of homework, to kind of get second opinions, to try different forms of treatment and find out what works best for you. And sometimes, we need something as aggressive as a surgery, or transplant. I'm not against any of those type of treatments. But start with the most benign forms of treatment, the stuff that has the least long-term side effects or consequences to them. So things like chiropractic, physical therapy, massage, acupuncture, and kind of work your way up into the point, where you've addressed the issue.
Before we cover the next topic in this episode, I want to introduce you to the adventure sports lifestyle with what I call a micro story about an adventure that I've had. The adventure sports lifestyle and my deep connection to nature is essential to my good health. So here's the story. The key reason to practice catch and release fishing is it supports the local fish population. Releasing a monster-sized fish allows those healthy genes to spread and populate the body of water with more healthy fish, with the genes to grow into trophy-sized fish. I hope this inspires you to practice catch and release fishing and to get outside and adventure alone, with friends, or the people you love most. Now back to the show, where we're talking with Dr. Alex Hilario. Your second key is optimizing the nervous system for wellness. What pivotal role does the nervous system play in your overall health?
Yeah, so it's so important that it's the first organ to form, and again, it kind of innervates every single organ, every single system. Some people will experience numbness or shooting pain. That's an indication that a nerve is being compressed, but it also controls, the different organs. So you could be dealing with digestive issues or reproductive issues and not know that it's because there's irritation on your nervous system. So it's important to make sure that your spine is moving properly, you have the proper curvatures in your spine, and not dealing with these type of issues. As Americans, we love to kind of go, 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 it's fast paced. We're dealing with back pain or neck pain. We want to just take a pill and keep it moving. But over time, that can become a big problem. So it's something we want to look into, something we want to address.
And that leads us to number three, which is avoiding medications and poor posture pitfalls. Why are long-term medications and suboptimal posture, like slumping forward, for example, threats to your overall good health?
Yeah, so medication is very important sometimes, and we definitely want to follow our medical doctor's recommendations. But a lot of times we're going to the pharmacy and we're just kind of picking up stuff there on our own without any real guidance. And it could be years where you're taking over-the-counter stuff and then develop issues with your GI, your gastrointestinal uh, um, problems where you're developing ulcers. There was a study that found that over 30 million people take over-the-counter stuff, and there's over 100,000 hospitalizations and over 16,000 deaths related to this. So, it's not something you want to just keep doing. Obviously, if you're in pain, you need to take something, by all means, take it. But, try to figure out what the root of the cause is, what the problem is, what's causing it, and not just, hey, I just, because we don't have a Tylenol deficiency. We don't have an Advil deficiency, so what's causing this, and take some time to do some digging.
It's interesting that you talk about the root cause of things. One of the things that I try to remind people is that when you take a medication and it masks your symptoms, that means you're not getting information that your body was trying to give you. Do you have anything you want to share as it relates to the kinds of information that we should be looking for inside our body to know that it's telling us that we are unwell, we have some dis-ease within us?
Yeah, I totally agree. What happens is that we'll have dysfunction appear first. So there's an imbalance in the muscles, there's, a shift in the spine and the vertebrae, and the pain comes later. The pain is your alarm going off. There's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem. But then if you're taking something to address the symptoms, you're not going to correct that issue, right? You're not going to correct the cause of it. So you're just kind of addressing the symptoms, and you're over time it gets worse because your body's going to adapt to that. That brings me back to the posture. You asked about the posture, but over time your body changes because your body adapts to that. So, as Americans, we spend a lot of time, well, I think everybody nowadays spends a lot of times on their cell phones and laptops and all types of devices. So we're always hunched over or bent over. And your body does adapt to that. So over time, you can develop arthritis. You can develop issues where it's very difficult to correct those curvatures.
And so let's say you've been practicing poor posture your whole life. Is it possible to come back from that? And what kinds of therapies, treatments, and how often would a functional medicine doctor or a chiropractor work with the patient to reverse some of the rounding of the spine in bad ways and curvatures and stiffness and even arthritis symptoms that they're experiencing?
Yeah, so everybody's going to be a little bit different. The first thing is to try to evaluate, figure out the severity of the issue. The older we are, the more we've had the issue, the harder it is to correct. But usually there is a course of treatment where you're kind of retraining your body, right? So you're creating this new memory, this new position of the spine, this new position and movement within the joints. But we've seen people with severe arthritis get to a point where they're pain-free. We've seen people with, really abnormal curvatures correct them over time. So if anybody's dealing with this type of issue, it's definitely worth looking into and worth adding to any type of treatment that you may be doing. Physical therapy is great, but it's mostly focused on the muscles and strengthening the weaknesses there. Adding chiropractic is also going to help restore motion to the spine. So, there's a lot of great treatments out there, but sometimes you may need to add, one or two more.
World events are constantly teaching everyone some very painful lessons. Without warning, everything we take for granted can suddenly fail. And if you're not prepared in advance, you really don't have a chance. The fact is, the modern world runs on a just-in-time supply schedule. Even the biggest grocery stores can carry only enough food for a few days' worth of normal shopping. So when disaster strikes and chaos ensues at your local stores, the odds are simply against you. If you don't have emergency food and gear stockpiled in advance, you will probably suffer. My partner Ready Hour is here to help you ahead of time. Ready Hour has a long history of providing calorie-rich, reliable, and delicious nourishment for life's unexpected situations, and critical emergency gear too. They're part of a family of companies that have served millions of people like you for decades. My family and I use Ready Hour products for camping, mountaineering, and disaster preparedness for 5 years now. They're not just reliable, they're also your affordable option too. Long-term survival food shouldn't break the bank. That's why they have great sales and payment options for you. It's your bridge to safety and survival when things just aren't normal anymore. So make your next decision your smartest decision. Be ready for tomorrow, today. Trust Ready Hour. Ready to shop? Use my affiliate link in the show description.
How often should someone see their chiropractor? And does that depend on their problem, or do you have sort of a rule of thumb on that?
Yeah, that varies, from patient to patient. You could have, a child who fell off of a swing and they may not need much treatment. You may have somebody who's older and has had, or is a blue collar worker and has been re-injuring their back for years that may need more treatment. So the frequency can vary. It could be a couple of times a week, but because again, it's a retraining process, kind of like going to the gym. If you go once a month, you're going to get very little results, if any. If you're going frequently, you're going a few times a week, your body will adapt to that, to those stresses, and your body will change over time.
Well, that's been very insightful. Is there anything else you want to leave the listeners with?
Definitely look into integrating chiropractic if you've never done it. It's about like 3% of the population that use it. So, there's a lot of people out there that are not benefiting from chiropractic care, restoring the motion to the joints, getting the pressure off of your nervous system. If you're dealing with issues like even digestive issues or reproductive issues, and you haven't been able to find the cause, at chiropractic, we don't go around telling people that we correct these issues because, it's not something we can directly link. But sometimes it is your nervous system that's being affected. And when there's pressure on the nerves, that's going to affect the function of the organs. So removing that pressure can definitely give you the results that you're looking for.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Dr. Hilario. And if you want to connect with Dr. Hilario, there will be links to his Instagram account and website for more information in the show description.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Until next time, friends, I'm your host, Antoinette Lee, the wellness warrior here at the New Normal Big Life podcast. I hope one day to see you on the river, in the backcountry, or in the horse barn living your best life. Struggling with health problems or seeking natural health solutions? Don't miss our latest podcast episode, exclusive blog posts, and free ebooks packed with life-changing wellness tips. Join our newsletter at nnbl.blog to unlock this bonus content and start living your new life today.
Magnesium, an unsung hero, fuels over 300 bodily reactions, from heart health to stress relief. Magnesium expert Natalie Girardo, founder of Rooted In, found freedom from anxiety, insomnia, and pain through topical magnesium. It transformed my life, she says, inspiring her mission to share this mineral's power. Cardiologist Dr. Jack Wolfson calls magnesium essential for heart health, helping regulate rhythms, blood sugar, and reduce inflammation. Up to 80% of people may be deficient, facing issues like depression, migraines, insomnia, or muscle cramps. For women over 40, magnesium eases menopause symptoms, boosts energy, and supports bones. Choosing the correct type of magnesium matters. Real stories, Natalie's and mine, highlight its impact. After interviewing magnesium expert Natalie Girardo, I became a customer. I was already a magnesium fan, having been told by 2 cardiologists to take magnesium for a minor heart arrhythmia. Natalie explains it best in the Magnesium, the Mineral Transforming Lives episode of New Normal Big Life, number 4 in Alternative Health on Apple Podcast. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. Fast forward after the interview, I bought the Rooted In bundle for sleep, tranquility, and pain relief. As a spine injury survivor with several other health challenges, I'm in constant pain. However, I don't take any pain medication. Rooted In is now one more source that nature provided to give our bodies what it needs when it needs it. You can find magnesium in natural bodies of water like lakes and rivers and in soil. But modern farming practices have stripped magnesium out of the soil and our food. That's why today, Rooted In's rest, relief, and tranquility are part of our afternoon and nightly sleep routine. My guy who did 2 tours kicking indoors in Iraq with the Marines now has no trouble falling asleep. I no longer have to take melatonin before bedtime to fall asleep. So after I became a customer and saw how well these products worked, I applied to become an affiliate. I've been sharing the secrets of Rooted In with friends and family from age 38 to 68, and everyone has gotten amazing results within minutes of applying the cream. Do something naturally good for yourself. Get Rooted In. Click my affiliate link in the episode description to shop now.